Good evening and welcome to the Newshour Agenda. I'm Madhavdas G. Amidst a massive showdown over prasadam at Tirupati temple, now former Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Jagan Mohan Reddy has cancelled his planned visit to Tirumala. Jagan lashed out at the TDP government in Andhra Pradesh, stating that demons are now in power in the state and were creating hurdles in his temple visit. He's even questioned if this was the situation when a former chief minister is associated, then what would be the state of the underprivileged? Jagan has decided to cancel his trip amidst the growing demands for giving a quote-unquote declaration of faith and security concerns. Listen in to what he said.
పోతా ఉంటే నోటీసులు ఇస్తా ఉన్నారు. నిజంగా ఆలోచన చేయమని అడుగుతా ఉన్నా. ఏ ప్రపంచంలో ఉండం? రాక్షస రాజ్యం కాదా ఇదని అడుగుతా ఉన్నా. I read the Bible. But when I go out of the house, I am a Hindu, I am a Muslim, I am also a Sikh. Humanity is my religion. ఒక ముఖ్యమంత్రిగా పరిపాలన చేసిన వ్యక్తి పరిస్థితి ఇదే అయితే ఇక ఆ దళితుల పరిస్థితి ఏమిటి? బుల్లలే పోగలుగుతారా?
Now the issue of Jagan's visit escalated with the BJP and the TDP asking Jagan Mohan Reddy to sign the TTD declaration before he enters the temple. According to the rules of the temple, foreign nationals and non-Hindus should declare their reverence to Lord Venkateshwara Swami before having a darshan of the deity at the temple.
ఈ రోజు నేను అడుగుతున్నా, మీకు గౌరవం ఉంది, మీరే ఒప్పుకుంటున్నారు, నేను బైబిల్ చదువుకుంటాను. నువ్వు బైబిల్ చదువుకున్నప్పుడు నువ్వు యాక్సెప్ట్ చేస్తున్నావు. యాక్సెప్ట్ చేసినప్పుడు తప్పు లేదు దాంట్లో. ఎందుకు ఇంట్లో రూమ్ అయిన చదవాలి, బయట కూడా చదువుకోవచ్చు. బట్ ఐఎమ్ సేయింగ్ ఎందుకు చర్చకి పోకూడదు? ఐఎమ్ ఆస్కింగ్ స్ట్రైట్ క్వశ్చన్, డోంట్ మిస్టేక్ మీ. నాది మానవత్వం అని మాట్లాడుతున్నాను. మానవత్వం ఏంటి? మత సామరస్యాన్ని కాపాడడం మానవత్వం కాదు. మీరేమంటున్నారు? నేను ఎప్పుడో చెప్పాను, ప్యాబ్లో ఎస్కోబార్ అని.
Jagan Reddy has once again proved that he is anti-Hindu and he suffers from Hindu phobia.
He must disclose, as is the requirement under the TTD, his own background, his own faith. Who is he? What is his background? What kind of religion does he practice?
And as the war continues to escalate, let us take you across some past instances when some key dignitaries signed the declaration to visit the temple. The first, of course, over here is Farooq Abdullah. The date of visit is the 16th of February 1993. He signed the declaration. Now there is Dr. M. Wali. The date of visit is the 2nd of October 1995. He has signed the declaration as well. Mohammad Jani, the date of visit is of 13th of November 2011. He too has signed this particular declaration. Shah Rukh Khan, the date of visit is 2023, before the release of a big film. He as well has signed the declaration. Now, if there are such top celebrities who have signed the declaration, the big question that then arises is that why is there a deviation in the case as alleged by the TDP when it comes to former Chief Minister Jagan Mohan Reddy?
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Let's go across to our guest now. Joining us is Tuhin Sinha, national spokesperson of the BJP. With us also is Deepak Reddy, national spokesperson of the TDP. Narayan Murthy is leader of the YSRCP. With us also is Kamruzaman Chaudhary, political analyst, and Dr. Suman Siraman, political analyst. Let me start first and foremost with Mr. Narayan Murthy, leader of the YSRCP. Mr. Narayan Murthy, why is it that Mr. Jagan Reddy decided to cancel his visit to the Tirumala Tirupati temple? Is he reluctant to make a declaration of faith? Is it the possible outrage he would have faced? What's the reason for Mr. Reddy cancelling this particular trip?
Yeah. See, why Jagan Mohan Reddy garu wanted to visit Lord Venkateshwara for the blessings and to pray, like, whatever wrong things and attacks and disturbances happening in the state. But unfortunately, the first time in history of AP and also in India, he is ex-CM and ex-opposition leader and son of ex-CM and son of ex-opposition leader. He is ex-MP, ex-CM also. even Jagan Mohan Reddy garu stopped by the police by giving the notice to him. Is it democratic? Is it democratic? Is this constitutional? Unconstitutionally, undemocratically, they stopped it, and they've given notices to all leaders of the YSR Congress party across the state. Nearby Tirupati, Tirumala, whatever the districts are there, MLAs, ex-MLAs, MPs, ex-MPs, and corporators, and all chairmen, whoever all are there from the party, they house arrested and given the notices and told them very clearly, informed them very clearly not to come to the temple.
Okay. Let me get a direct clarification on that from the TDP spokesperson over here, Mr. Deepak Reddy. You made an important point. This is strong arm tactics. You're using the police to intimidate, give notices, house arrests, etc. taking place, and all of these is being done with a political intent in mind, appears to be the statement coming in from the YSRCP spokesperson. Please respond to that, Deepak Reddy.
Madhav, unfortunately, whatever the YSR spokesperson speak, there would be no truth to it. And I challenge the gentleman to show one notice which was given to Jagan Mohan Reddy. Yes, to certain lower level leaders it was given because for security reasons. That was the thing. Let me tell you, show you one thing, Madhav. You are going to be shocked, and the whole country is going to be shocked after listening to this 10-second video by a minister from Jagan Mohan Reddy's government. I'm getting this thing out. Just 10 seconds.
Who is the minister?
Kodal Nani.
Let us talk about how we stop the people, devotees to not to answer that.
Okay, I don't follow Telugu, sir. Please tell us what he's saying. One by one. Mr. Narayan Murthy, you can respond to him. You can respond to him. But please, what is your claim? What is the argument here?
Yeah, look at him. He's so shocked. He doesn't want me to play that.
That's what I'm
Let me tell you what the gentleman was
please.
telling.
I'm requesting all of you one by one, please. Let's not have a shouting match, please.
Yeah,
Mr. Narayan Murthy, I'll give you a chance to rebut his claims. Let Mr. Deepak Reddy put forth his argument, please.
Diversion politics. This is also diversion.
Look at him.
Sir, let him at least make the claim. You can call it diversion. You can react to it. There is time, sir. Other three spokespersons have not even spoken. Mr. Narayan Murthy, please. Let's not do this. You can rebut him.
What is the formality?
You can rebut him, sir. Let him speak at least. Deepak Reddy.
Look at him, how shocked he is. Anyway, let me tell the country what that minister told. He says if somebody breaks Anjaneya's idol, he will not feel the pain. The second statement, if somebody steals the deities, it's only 6 or 10 kgs silver. It hardly costs about 10 lakh rupees. If somebody burns a chariot, it hardly costs a crore. We'll get it done.
That's what you
This was the statement given by the minister during Jagan Mohan Reddy's government times. Can you believe this, Madhav? Can you believe this, Madhav?
1 second. Mr. Narayan Murthy, please. Mr. Narayan Murthy, these are very, very serious allegations that are being made. Please calm down and respond to what is being stated here by Deepak Reddy. He's saying this is the approach of a senior leader in your government when your party was in power. Now, please respond to what Mr. Deepak Reddy is saying.
No, I can also show many videos now. That is not important now. That is also important, but that's not the matter which we are discussing. Ask him to respond. How can you stop a ex-CM or ex-minister, ex-whatever opposition leader, ex-MP, is ex-CM son, ex-opposition leader son? How can you stop it? He already visited 11 times. 11 times he allowed, even in our regime also, chandrababu Naidu's regime also. He visited.
No, but may I ask you a question, Mr. Narayan Murthy? May I ask you a simple question? Mr. Narayan Murthy, may I ask you a question? You are saying this is not important. May I ask you one question? A simple question, Mr. Narayan Murthy, that I need to ask you is that when it comes to, the entry to TTD, the TTD has put out a declaration mandatory. Is the declaration the issue of contention here? Because we have seen how it has come out in the public domain that many top celebrities, leaders, etc. have declared their faith before entering the temple. Is that the issue of contention here?
Yes, I'll straight away answer you. I am telling you, this is first time visitor to the temple. Jagan Mohan Reddy garu already visited several times from the childhood stage. Several times he visited. What, he is new person to temple? New person to Andhra Pradesh people? New person to India? It's not that, no. Several times already visited. Still, they want to provoke it. They want to create a law and order problem. They want to do religious politics. So they want to burn Andhra Pradesh. They want to burn and see the cinema.
Okay.
On that, it's not good.
Okay. You're playing with fire, Deepak Reddy, and this is not the first time that the former Chief Minister has gone to the Tirupati temple, and that's why, this declaration is only for first-time visitors, is the charge coming from YSRCP. Respond to him.
Madhav, today, the former Chief Minister finally came out with the truth. He was shocked and he realized that the Hindu community is not going to take this nonsense anymore. But just before I tell that, let me just tell you certain facts. In Jagan Mohan Reddy's election affidavit, he declared himself to be a Christian. In the CBI case inquiry which was going on him, he agreed to the CBI that he was a Christian. In his 10th class certificate, it was and school TC, it was written as a Christian. His father's last rites were done in Christian way. And his father-in-law, who just passed away, was also cremated in a Christian way. So here the issue is, and his wedding also was done in a Christian way. But he used to never come and accept and say that he's a Christian, but he would respect the Lord and then go into the temple. That's all we said. If you're a non-Hindu, all you have to say is, I believe in Lord Venkateshwara, sign the declaration and go. In spite of asking him n number of times, he never did it. So that is the disregard what he always had for the Hindu institution. And if you look at the corruption, if you look at how the sanctity of that institution was lost, it was shocking. So this was deliberately done. So here the question is only one thing. Do you respect the traditions of the temple or not?
Okay, let me open this up now. Let me take this across. Gentlemen, please. Both of you have spoken now. Let me bring in other panelists. Suman Siraman, would you like to respond to the questions raised by Deepak Reddy? He's saying that this is a question of faith, and certainly at this point of time, the declaration appears to be the main issue or the bone of contention between the TDP and the YSRCP.
See, I think it's very unfortunate, Madhav, that TDP, a party like the TDP, and a gentleman like Mr. Chandrababu Naidu, who was always seen as a development-focused leader, is now being seen as part of the Hindutva camp. It's a very, very big sort of fall for Mr. Naidu, because I think the attempt to polarize the electorate in Andhra is very sad. Look, Mr. Jagan Mohan Reddy may have many faults. I'm not for a moment defending his track record over the years. But the issue now is very simple. They've got the laddu charge, which sort of seemed to backfire because they've not been able to actually establish that the adulterated ghee was actually used for the laddus. The EO himself has sort of given a counter statement. Now they have to try to come up with something else, and Jagan presented them this opportunity. Look, there are two things here. One, Mr. Jagan Mohan Reddy accompanied the Prime Minister of India, Mr. Modi, to the Tirumala temple as Chief Minister. So Mr. Modi is also well aware that these forms and rules are all there. Who was the executive officer then who allowed Mr. Jagan Mohan Reddy to go in? Mr. Jagan Mohan Reddy has gone to Tirumala even when Mr. Chandrababu Naidu was Chief Minister earlier. Was he asked to sign a form? See, I think that you have to do 2-3 things. There has to be consistency in whatever rule. You cannot say that the same man will be allowed for 15 years, but now, because we find it politically expedient to make this an issue, and we feel that we can use this to polarize the electorate in Andhra, we can ask him to sign the declaration. Now, my point is very simple. Will the TDP government act against all previous EOs and staff of TTD, charge sheet them for having allowed Mr. Jagan Mohan Reddy into the temple without having signed the affidavit on all the previous occasions?
Right.
I'm talking over the last 15 years.
Right.
Let them give an assurance that they will do that. Some of their own people will be there.
Okay. There are two parts to this question. You've raised the question of the Prime Minister visiting and knowledge about, Mr. Jagan Reddy's, accompanying him, number one. And the second is what the government of Andhra Pradesh will do. The first part of the question, I want Tuhin Sinha to respond to that. Tuhin Sinha.
Well, good evening, Madhav. Good evening, everybody. You know, Madhav, a sacrilege of this nature involving the Tirumala Temple Trust is unprecedented and unpardonable. Absolutely. So, unfortunately, the response of the YSRCP in the last 1 week has been one of brazenness, absolute brazenness. I think there are 4 things which Jagan Reddy needs to do. In the past, he may have availed of certain exemptions. We don't know what was the reason for that exemptions. That is a separate matter of investigation. But in the present situation, you know, given the sensitivities of a large number of devotees whose feelings are hurt, he needs to come forth and unequivocally declare his faith. You know, if he can do that in election affidavit in the present situation, considering the sentiments of the devotees, he needs to similarly do it again. In addition to that, there are 3 other things he needs to do, which he should have done in the last 7 days since the time the story broke out. Number 1, explain why he had to trust the chairmanship of the trust to people not adequately invested in Hindu faith. Number 2, why did he have to appoint 52, appointees by bringing in an ordinance to change all the rules? And number 3, there are 3 things he needs to answer, and obviously during his tenure, why did he not, if he is such a firm devotee, why did he not have similar tests carried out on the food samples and why did he not take redemptive measures?
Actually, he's answered that question.
It's too late.
He's answered that question, Tuhin, and in fact, that was going to be my next question to Deepak Reddy. Tuhin, he has said that during his regime from 2019 to 2024, 18 times the ghee tankers were rejected and sent back. If someone were to do mischief, the tanker won't be even permitted to enter the premises. So it's not like, the rejection of ghee samples has not happened during his time. At least this is the claim of Mr. Jagan Reddy in today's press conference to respond to the point that you were just making.
That's an erroneous claim. That's an unsubstantiated claim. Number 1, that's an unsubstantiated claim, and even if for a moment, just 10 seconds, even if for a moment you were to believe him, he absolutely did not take any redemptive measure, which is why in August 2023, towards the end of his term, the same malpractice continued unabated. So the buck over here stops with him.
Okay. I want to bring in Kamruzaman Chaudhary on the point. Coming to you, Deepak Reddy, just a moment. Coming to you, sir. Kamruzaman Chaudhary is not yet spoken. I just want him to bring in one point. Kamruzaman Chaudhary, even in 2012, when Mr. Jagan Reddy visited, and there are many media reports on this, there was a huge controversy because it is in 2012 that the TTD made it compulsory for this declaration to come out, and Mr. Jagan Reddy is reported to have refused to sign the form despite being told repeatedly by the TTD staff about the norm. He arrived at the Hill Shrine on Tuesday night after completing his first day electioneering, checked into the guest house, staff visiting guest house along with declaration documents, but followers told them that the MP will sign the form in the morning. However, he went into temple without signing the form. It's not happening for the first time. It's been very well documented. You can search. It's happened in 2012 as well. Kamruzaman Chaudhary.
Yeah, when Sonia Gandhi ji, APJ Abdul Kalam went to visit the temple, they also signed the declaration. I believe it is a question of faith and how you tackle it and how you perceive the things out here. In 2020, I believe there was a brief period wherein the form was waived off for anybody visiting the temple. I believe at that time no asta of anybody was hurt because anybody who went to the temple did not have to sign a form. So it's a non-issue that has come to Andhra. For one reason,
Mr. Chaudhary, this is very, very insensitive of you to say that. If there is a rule in force, then it's applying to all. Nobody is discriminating against any individual, sir. As you yourself said, if other top leaders of the country have gone there and they've complied with this particular requirement, I think that's a very insensitive comment to make, that the rule was suspended and therefore at that time the faith is not. Let's not go down that road at all. It's as it is a very sensitive issue. Let's be a little mindful, sir. My request to you, Mr. Chaudhary.
No, basically, Madhav, I am sorry, I don't want to hurt anybody's sentiments, but just the point that I was brought out here, the TDP government in Andhra is in a big dilemma. You know why? Either BJP, which is piggybacking on the TDP to come to power in the state, either BJP proposes a bigger Hindu than Pawan Kalyan or Chandrababu Naidu. That is the big issue, because we have seen in examples all across the country. BJP comes and enters into a state piggybacking on a regional party, then gobbles up the entire regional party. Now this issue is a question of faith in Andhra Pradesh along with millions of followers all across the world. Now the BJP it seems would have eaten up the TDP and Pawan Kalyan's party out here if the TDP did not bring out this issue. First they brought out the prasadam issue, which became to a null and void out there because it could not be an issue. Now they're bringing out this issue out here about signing the declaration. The question out here is that you need to prove in today's India that you are a bigger Hindu than somebody else to profess to a particular vote bank and particularly polarize the voters, as my friend Suman Siraman has said out here.
Okay.
And this is very dangerous for the country.
Okay,
now
Deepak Reddy, I want Deepak Reddy to respond to that. You made a set of charges. The prasadam controversy has died down and now you're trying to find another issue which is only to polarize the voters and make this a communal issue. Of course, Jagan Reddy himself has today come out to say, quote unquote, there are demons in power. I've never seen political parties create hurdles in visiting of a temple. Please respond to those two questions, Mr. Deepak.
Madhav, it's kind of painful when people make this issue, say it's politics. Imagine if millions of people were served pork belonging to certain other religion, how would it have been? That is the intensity of this issue. So you cannot trivialize it by saying it's a political thing. Next thing, somebody said that Jagan Reddy was not asked for the declaration earlier and now we are doing politics. I am a spokesperson. For the last 5 years, once a year when Jagan Reddy goes, this issue has been raised and it was going on in the local media for almost a week and we were protesting tooth and nail and he never bothered. The chairman, his own uncle, comes on air and says, what you TDP people, if you ask, you think we will do? We will not be scared. We will do it the way we want. On air, he gave the statement. So it's not true that we were not protesting. So they did not have any respect for the sentiment of the Hindus. So this rule has been there for quite some time. So intentionally they were doing it. So now it has come to a point where we are not going to tolerate it anymore, and we want the rules to go on the way it has to go on. And coming to the adulteration issue, there are multiple ways of checking, Madhav. One, you can check with your eyes, and you need certain apparatus to do certain other things. When TDP government was there earlier, there was a full-fledged laboratory in the temple, which Jagan Reddy scaled down. And he also removed about 6 or 8 conditions from the tender where it was given to a diary, but he got in middlemen. So, and then he did not put the required apparatus to check that thing also. So that was the level of recklessness. Now after going into this problem, we have found out not just ghee, the other ingredients also were not of good quality which they used. Okay. So all this is going to come out shortly. This has been blatant disregard for the sentiments of the Hindus and a degree of recklessness. And today Jagan Reddy said that in his house he sits down and reads the Bible between the in his house. But when he comes out, when he comes out, he respects the other religion. So today he's come out and agreed first time in his life that he is a Christian. And on any number of occasions when we asked him earlier, he refused to sign. He said, I signed once earlier, and that document was never available. Okay. So he was bulldozing himself. And this is the naked truth and this is the fact, Madhav. Okay, let the YSRCP spokesperson now come in. Mr. Narayan Murthy, number of charges made about how, the YSRCP regime, during that regime, there were opposition to this. It's not happening for the first time, and every time it was brushed aside. And a more serious charge, that is not just about ghee, but it's about compromising the quality of all other ingredients as well. Two very serious allegations that the TDP spokesperson is making today on national television. Please respond, sir.
It totally unfair and untruth. It is false allegations because 2019 and 24 we sent back 17, 18 tankers back after checking the quality. And 14-19 also sent back 14 tankers, ghee tankers. So thorough check will be there in the TTD temple.
But did you reduce the number of checks or the scientific equipment, etc., the apparatus as you said?
And the employees are there, they thoroughly check and elevate. Yeah, the authorities will thoroughly check. It's not your government, it's not my government.
No, it's not about thoroughly check. He's saying the infrastructure was reduced.
Nothing related with the government. They will do their check thoroughly. Yeah?
Sir, he is saying you are checking equipments, etc. The infrastructure has been scaled down. It was reduced. That is the allegation coming of TDP. Please respond to that point, sir.
We developed infrastructure. We developed infrastructure. there was not such infrastructure in 2014-19. After Jagan Mohan Reddy garu become the CM, we developed infrastructure and whatever the conditions are there, we improved conditions for the quality check and purity, making pure whatever the prasada is there at the Lord Venkateswara. But for only diversion, because he literally failed, this government literally failed. He spoke a lot of 6 and 7, 8, whatever the promises are there. They cheated people. They got a
okay, let me come in now. You know, one of the things that has come out of this entire debate, I can see your hand, Suman Siravan, just coming to you. I want to ask Tuhin Sira, Pawan Kalyan, Deputy Chief Minister, has called for the forming of a Sanatan Dharma Rakshana Board at the national level. Is this something that the BJP is going to consider seriously?
Well, it's a very appreciable thought. It's a stand which needs to be supported because, like I said, you know, when it comes to halal food, many Hindus don't have an option, but, you know, in flights and in other places, the halal food is thrust upon them. But at the same time, when a Hindu wants sattvic food, he finds it very difficult to find it. So these and many other issues are there. It's an appreciable idea, but the party is yet to take a formal stand on it, which in the days to come, the party might take.
Okay.
You know, but the larger point, Madhav, just 1 second, because I think time is short on your show. The larger point remains the very fact that Jagan Reddy's party is unable to comprehend the magnitude of sacrilege shows how detached they are from Hindu faith and sentiments. If they were not so, they would have apologized by now, and Jagan Reddy would have unequivocally declared his faith again.
All right. Suman Siravan, quick response, please.
One request, Madhav. Can the TDP please put out some documentary evidence to show that it was the adulterated ghee was used in the manufacture of the laddus? So far, they have not put out. The EO says 4 tankers came, the 4 tankers were returned when the quality was found to be below par. Now, suddenly one story has come saying, no, actually there were 8 tankers. There were 4 tankers which AK Dairy says they supplied. Now, why are we so short of facts? We have one NDTV report which has been bandied about in public domain. Nobody is telling us, and that first consignment arrived on the 12th of June. Then there was one on 20th, then there was one on 25th, and the 4th one was in the first week of July.
Actually, there are about 3 or 4 documents or 3 tests, but 134, 135, 136, if I'm not mistaken. But Deepak Reddy, respond to that. There isn't enough proof of this adulteration or adulterated ghee being used as far as the laddus are concerned. Respond to Mr. Raman.
There was one field reporter belonging to NDTV who's given the wrong information, and we have countered that. And Jagan Reddy was telling there were only 4 tankers, but clearly we gave the vehicle numbers and showed that there were 8 tankers. 4 were rejected and 4 were already used. And a detailed inquiry is underway. Everything is going to come out crystal clear in the coming days because this being such a sensitive issue, we don't want to rush and put out a report.
Mr. Narayan, please, one by one, please. I'm requesting you.
Shortly, everything is going to be put in black and white to the people of India.
Okay. Suman.
Madhav, if these tankers came, let us say they came on 30th of May, 2nd of June, 4th of June, how long is it going to take to put out that information?
All right. I think we lost that connection there with Deepak Reddy, but we have to leave it there at the moment. I'd like to thank our panelists, Suman Siraman, Kamruzaban Chaudhary, Narayan Murthy, Deepak Reddy, as well as Tuhin Sira for joining us on debate number 1.